I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while sizzling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? What's good with you? It's the number one chief rocker at Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy. What's good? What's good? What's good, man? It's been a minute. It's been a minute, man. I miss y'all, man. It's been a minute. I miss y'all. I got some stuff that I want to talk to y'all about. Y'all know that already. Y'all know that off rip. You already know the vibe with that. So I got some stuff that I want to talk about with y'all. I got a couple of topics that I want to talk about with y'all. Let me see if I can get this thing right. There we go. All right. C-Mac is in the house. Alawaz is in the house. Rome for Rock is in the house. Jet Life for Life is in the house. What's good, man? What's good, y'all? So I really didn't, even though I have about 5 topics I want to talk about, what I want to do is do one at a time. Y'all okay with that? Y'all okay with that? My thing is I got about 5 topics that I wish to talk about with y'all, but then again, the most pressing topic with y'all, it seems, is one thing. The most pressing topic that y'all want to talk about, at least from in my comment section, is Tom Thibodeau. Wiz is in the house. Staffa Don is in the house. Angel Torres, what's good? I see you, Mr. Torres. What's happening? So the main thing going on as I read the comments, right? As I read the comment section and interact with you guys, the main thing that I notice is that you guys have questions about Tom Thibodeau. You guys have serious questions about, is Tom Thibodeau the guy? Now, I didn't just make this up. Right? Because you guys know I want to talk about Julius Randle being a 3-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA. Y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about, is Tom Thibodeau the guy? Mr. Atkins is in the house. Wacko, what's good? What's good? So our thing is this. And I want to go there with you guys. I want you guys to give me feedback too. Also, because as I mentioned, y'all know I want to talk about Quentin Grimes and Emmanuel quickly having a breakout season this season, right? But you guys want to talk about Tom Thibodeau. You already know how I feel about Tom Thibodeau's rotations and Tom Thibodeau's adjustments and Tom Thibodeau's development and all of that, right? My thing is, though, you guys want to get into it. So let's do it. So I didn't put this question on the slide. I didn't put this question on the joint, right? So what I'm going to do is just ask you guys straight up how you feel. Is Tom Thibodeau the right guy to coach the Knicks in the direction that they want to go? JJ, my brother, what's good, boss man? JJ, you see Pete hit a baseball last night, huh? Keith Turner's in the house. So the question for you guys is, Tom Thibodeau the right guy for the job? Is Tom Thibodeau the right guy to lead this team in the direction that they wish to go? And to be honest with you, I don't know if I have an opinion either way on Tom Thibodeau being the right guy. My thing with Thibs is all NBA coaches are flawed, all of them. And some coaches overcome certain things. You know what I mean? Ed J's in the house. What's good, boss man? My thing is this. Every NBA coach is flawed. Some coaches somehow seem to overcome obstacles, so to speak. And my thing is with a Tom Thibodeau type coach is, you are gonna get. Oh, okay. Let me explain to you what I think Tom Thibodeau is. I think Tom Thibodeau is a basic dinner. I think Tom Thibodeau is green bean casserole, chicken cutlet, mashed potatoes. That's what I think he is. Right? If you want a steak dinner, then you SOL. If you eating Doritos for lunch, Tom Thibodeau is your guy. Right? Tom Thibodeau is a chicken cutlet, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, maybe. If you're lucky, you may get vanilla ice cream for dessert. If you're lucky. Right? So Tom Thibodeau is not going to be your sizzling steak dinner, right, with lobster tail coming through and garlic butter and truffles. You know what I'm saying? With some type of asparagus tip with truffle butter. And Tom Thibodeau, and he's not going to be that. So don't even listen. Thibs ain't that. Right? Tom Thibodeau is not gonna be Doritos for dinner. Like, Tom Thibodeau is not hot dogs and hamburgers for dinner. Right? He is chicken cutlet, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes, a lemonade to drink for dinner. You're lucky if Thibs provides vanilla ice cream. J Boogie in the house, my main man. Yo, check out J Boogie's music. Check out the hip hop legend, J Boogie. My man be rubbing elbows with some of the greats in hip hop. Make sure you check out all J Boogie stuff coming up. Make sure you buy it. I might buy it live on the air, show y'all that I don't mess around. J Boogie, thank you for the generous contribution. J Boogie says, shout out to the chat. Blessings, health, and happiness to us all. I know Tom is not the wrong coach, especially with the roster he has been leading. Bim. J Boogie says, I know Tom is not the wrong coach, especially with the roster he has been leading. Bim. Okay. Yeah, shout out to J Boogie for that. In my mind, Tom Thibodeau is the epitome of the middle guy. And how we know this to be true, how I know this to be true, is Tom Thibodeau has never been the top guy. Ever. Never have you seen a Tom Thibodeau team lose in the NBA Finals. Never have you seen a Tom Thibodeau led team win the NBA Finals. To be in that top tier conversation, you have to be in that top tier conversation. You have to be in that conversation where even if you don't win it, say you're Eric Spoelstra, even if you don't win it, you know, your strategies and things speak for themselves. And I know Eric Spoelstra won championships with LeBron and Wade and Bosh and all of that. But what I'm saying to you is, in the years where Spoelstra doesn't have a LeBron, a Wade, a Bosh, somehow he finds a way to get to the top of the coaching, whatever it is, polls. Let's call it that. Pow, let's call it that. Does Tom Thibodeau, without exceptional talent, get his teams to the NBA Finals? No. But that's okay, though, right? That's okay. That's okay, because here's the thing. Tom Thibodeau, without exceptional talent, doesn't drive a team to the lottery. Tom Thibodeau wins whether he has a bunch of talent or no talent. The thing is with Thibs, Tom Thibodeau is a let me see here. I want to explain it in a way. Tom Thibodeau is a Chevy Malibu, right? Tom Thibodeau is a Chevy Malibu. Now, is he a Ford Fiesta? No, he's not. Tom Thibodeau is not a Ford Fiesta. You feel me? Tom Thibodeau is not a Suzuki Sidekick. Right? Tom Thibodeau is not a Chevy Nova. IKBM Dre is in the house. Mr. Day, what's good, man? Tom Thibodeau is... Oh, you know what? Tom Thibodeau is a Honda Accord. A fine car. That's a Honda Accord is a fine automobile, right? Shout out to those that drive Honda Accords. I had a Honda Accord once. Tom Thibodeau is a Honda Accord. The only thing, though, is if you want to drive a Chrysler 300, Tom Thibodeau is not that guy. Thibs is not a Chrysler 300. Right? And so while it seems as if I'm downplaying the goodness of Tom Thibodeau, I'm not. I just understand who he is. And when we expect him to be more than what he is, then we have issue. Right? Shout out to the chat. So I'm not knocking Tom Thibodeau because a 2023 Honda Accord seems like a fine car, right? But if you're talking about getting to that place, that other place, Thibs ain't that guy, right? Shout out to all the Honda Accord drivers out there, right? But my thing is, if you dare think about driving a Chrysler 300, Thibs ain't the guy. Thibs ain't that. Thibs is no frills, no bells and whistles. Get down to the brass tacks. That's what Tom Thibodeau is. Hey, can y'all hear me okay? Can y'all hear me okay? I want to make sure I got let me make sure I got the correct microphone on, because I have to switch back and forth. Okay. All right. All right. There we go. So when our expectation for Thibs is, hey, Thibs, we want you to be a Chrysler 300, we always get frustrated and upset because Thibs can't be a Chrysler 300. And so what I get asked a lot is, if Thibs has been coaching this long, how come he can't step his game up to the next level? And I'm here to tell you that every coach that coaches in the NBA is not going to be a championship level coach. Right? Every coach that coaches in the NBA is not going to be a championship level coach. So you have to understand where you are as a franchise. But like for example, when the Knicks were going through the coaching candidates, I felt like Tom Thibodeau was the perfect coach. Right? I felt like Thibs was the perfect coach. Come in, establish a culture. Right? None of this Mario Hezonja running point guard mess no more. No more of this coaches coming in. Last night, you played Hezonja at the 3 and 4. He out here guarding LeBron for some reason. Right? And then the next night, you got Hezonja out here playing point guard. No more of that. We need some base level consistency. That's what this organization has needed for a long time. No more of this one night RJ's playing point guard, the next night RJ is playing the 4. No more of that. Right. At some point, as an organization, you have to establish a level of consistency on a night to night basis, a week to week basis, a month to month basis, and dare I say, a season to season basis. So while Thibs is not a Chrysler 300, he is also not a gremlin. Right? But here is my thing though. Here's my thing with Tom Thibodeau and what he offers. I had it up on the screen. I showed it to y'all. Let me see if I can put it back up here. I have notes, like show notes in front of me here. Let me see. Let me close out all of these. Oh. Let me see if I can put Thibs back up here. So here are some questions that I want to ask you guys, and y'all tell me what you guys think. Does Tom Thibodeau bring a modern approach to today's NBA style of play? I'm just going to go back here just real quick, right? Does Tom Thibodeau bring a modern approach to the modern game? If y'all can tell me what y'all think, tell me what you guys think about that. Does Tom Thibodeau bring a modern approach to today's NBA game? Right? I feel like that's a fair question. I feel like that's a fair question. Does Tom Thibodeau bring in a modern approach to today's NBA style of play? I'm going to say absolutely and emphatically no. I think there is too much emphasis put on defense. I think there's absolutely too much emphasis put on defense. And listen, I'm not saying that I don't value defense, because I do value defense. I probably value defense too much, but I understand that in today's NBA, you have to be a balanced NBA team. In today's NBA, you have to be a balanced NBA team. You can't be out here like the 1988 Philadelphia Eagles. Right? Let me tell y'all something. For those that value elite defense, the Chicago Bears won one Super Bowl. The 85 Bears won one Super Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens won one Super Bowl. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they won one Super Bowl. right? And don't get me started with baseball. Don't get me started with baseball either, or the NBA. I had a conversation with a gentleman that tried to tell me that the Denver Nuggets won the NBA championship because of defense. And then when I mentioned their starting five, when I mentioned that Jokic is not an elite defender, when I mentioned that Michael Porter Jr. is not an elite defender, when I mentioned Jamal Murray, you have to have balance. The Detroit Pistons, that 04 Pistons team, that style will never win another championship, ever. Defense does not win championships. Balance wins championships. Balance. Right? Because here's the thing. For every, I'll continue to use Denver, right? For every Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Aaron Gordon, there are 1,000 of those guys you can go get right now. But you can't find 1,000 Jokic's, and you can't find 1,000 Michael Porter Jr.'s, and you can't find 1,000 Jamal Murray's. But a 6'5" defender, I can go get that from anywhere USA. A 6'7" swing forward, I could go get that from anywhere USA. But a Jokic, once in a lifetime. Let me put my thing in here, man. We hadn't done this in a long time. I just put the link in the chat. Yo, we had been so crazy. Yo, it's weird. Like when we put the link in the chat, cats used to just come in and all unorthodox. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Bully. Bully is in the building. So does Tom Thibodeau bring a modern approach to today's NBA style of play? I'm gonna say no. Does he have a standard style of play? Yeah, absolutely. Is Thibs a fundamental coach? Absolutely. 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 No doubt in my mind. So does Tom Thibodeau bring a modern approach? Does he innovate? No. No. And as a grinder, listen, I'm a grinder too. I'm a Tom Thibodeau type person. I understand Tom Thibodeau because we have the same personality. Grind, work hard, just grind. Right? No shortcuts, just grind, just stay at it. Right? I get it. Tom Thibodeau, I have a personality like Tom Thibodeau, so I absolutely get it. I get it. And I know I'm old school. Sincere's in the building. There is absolutely no difference in the approach than me, Buck Showalter, and Tom Thibodeau. Grind. Get better every day. Baby steps every day. Don't look for the huge leap. Just grind. I get it. Is that a popular approach though? No. Because I know personally that I can grind on people's nerves. I can wear people down. I understand that. And I try to get better at that. I try to get better at that every day. Right? But does Tom Thibodeau try to get better at that every day? No. No. Right? Just grind every day. No shortcuts. Nothing flashy. Wake up every day the same time, the same routine, the same thing over and over and over again. I get that. That's me. Nothing flashy. Just go about your routine every day. Incremental progress. I'm sorry. Right. In real life, though, that may pay off in the long run. In sports, no, it doesn't work in sports. In sports, you get 2 to 3 years and we lose interest. DSJ is in the house. DSJ says, Tom Thibodeau is like fly guy coming out of jail wearing a yellow suit with platform shoes with goldfish in the heels. I'm going to get you, sucker, type coach. Bim. It's 1971 all over again, right? Right? 1971 all over again? You, good boss.
What's going on? What's going on? Salute to everybody out there.
Man, chilling. I'm about to start a new routine. I did all of that. I'm about to start running.
Say that one more time up.
I'm about to start running in the afternoons.
Okay.
Yeah, after the show, I'm gonna start that run walk thing. Like, you know how you walk a little bit, then you run, then you walk a little bit, then you run. Trying to rehab the legs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Little bit at a time. You know what I'm saying? Wiz, what's good, boss?
Hey, man. Miss you guys, man. How you doing, boss?
Good, man. Good. Salute El Presidente.
El General.
Yeah, man.
General.
Yeah, man. Wiz, I'm working on the SIE and the Series 63 and 66. So
Nice.
my schedule has been sporadic. So yeah, because of study and work. You know how it is. You know what it is.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna reach out to you and make sure in case you even come down there and shake some people up.
You want me to point them out?
Exactly. Yeah. Let me know. Kind of also maybe it looks up. Let me know if I should move from LA down there. If I were to move there, where be a spot to keep me satisfied but still relaxed.
We got a lot down from us. It's about a quarter. It's about an acre and a quarter. Ain't nothing on it but trees.
Oh, nice.
We got to do something. We got to do something with it because it don't generate no. Oh, it's just sitting there getting taxed every year.
Oh man, that sounds sweet. Okay.
Yeah, man. But let me ask. I want to get Chuck's opinion on something just real quick.
Hmm?
Hey, so Chuck, how do you feel about Tom Thibodeau, bro?
he makes me know never mind. Like if he's here, cool. This is the coach that we got.
Right.
And we rocking with him. If he's gone, then I'm gonna embrace the next person. The next person here.
Right.
Uh, Thibs is who we stuck with for right now. Like this season would probably be the season that makes or breaks him as far as the coaching. But I just don't see them with the recent success of the organization.
Okay.
Them just saying, "All right, time for you to go."
Right.
You know, I know people have their gripes about Tibbs,
Okay.
but here's the thing: no coach is perfect. Everyone is flawed in some way.
Yep.
Um, so if you go with a coach that is more offensive minded, um, I think it would behoove you to have more defensive players, natural defensive players on your team. Because at the end of the day, um, we are screaming defense, defense, but a lot of these offensive teams make timely stops. And
Right.
that's the name of the game. Us making 2 or 3 timely stops and then capitalizing on those turnovers and making the best of that situation. So with Tibbs, he's all right with me so far. Um, I, you got to give him this year. And I know some people in the chat and even fans are probably saying, "Yo, we ain't got to give him no more time." Well, you just got Jalen Brunson last year.
Right.
The thing that we've been missing for the past 30 years, starting point guard in their prime.
Right.
We saw how the team did with JB under the helm one year, uh, and that's with Tibbs. Um, I know when Obi came out with his statement, people was like, "See, that's why we got to get rid of Tibbs."
Okay.
Then, well, not Obi with his statement, but Fournier with his statement, and then the so-called rumors of the rift with Tibbs. And everybody's like, "See, this is why you got to get rid of Tibbs. This is why you got to get rid of Tibbs." Now, if R.J. Barrett had said that, Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, there would be some cause for concern.
Right.
But guys that weren't getting enough playing time in their estimation or out of the rotation, I take that with a grain of salt.
Right. Right. I kind of agree with you on um all humans are flawed. Nobody's perfect. Tibbs as a coach is not going to be perfect. Right. I thing is with the Jalen Brunson thing, and I'm not saying that I'm absolutely correct on this, but I know all good things take time, and all good things are worth waiting for.
Absolutely.
Right. I'm in the mindset though that patience is key. At the same time, you're speaking to a fan base and an area of the country that has a reputation for being the opposite. Right. So either you're going to train New Yorkers to be patient, or you're going to operate at a New Yorker's pace.
Well, I would say you have to change your mindset. What's the saying? If you do something over and over expecting different results, that's insanity.
Right.
We've done the same thing over and over. It didn't matter what the regime was. The fans kicked, the front office acquiesced, and then it goes downhill from there. Uh, we have yet to develop our franchise player, even draft one,
Right.
right? Every other organization, we don't even have to go down the line of the guy that they have that's in that position. Uh, we got We got a steal in free agency twice. I don't care how y'all feel about Julius Randle. That was a steal for the production that he puts out. Is he a great fit? Is he the other player that you might want? No. But he is this is what we got. Right. This is what we got, and him and Jalen Brunson together wasn't a bad duo until even in the playoffs they weren't a bad duo. Julius Randle wasn't 100%. And Jalen Brunson proved that he's a star in this league. Right. So we got to give those things some time to mature before we got to do something. Because part of that was kind of killing me at the beginning of free agency. Look what everybody else is doing. Right. And I'm like, but we're not everybody else. We're not in their situation.
Right.
We got excited last year when we saw that there was a pathway to us getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. If we can knock off this Miami team, we can get there. That was the talk. We've had that conversation on this platform too.
Right.
And that made everyone feel like, or at least a majority of the fan base feel like, we're one move away. And I think that's ridiculous. All of these other teams, their core guys have been together at least 5+ years.
Right.
JB and Julius only been 1 year. RJ Barrett 1 year. With this current roster, are we forgetting Quentin Grimes is going into his third season?
Right.
Like we gotta give it time before we start wanting to shake it up, because no team that has won has changed their roster over the following year. The whole roster. Right. 5 and 6 guys at a time.
Right.
All right, I've talked enough. Who's
next? No. I think you have a solid point, because one of the things that we didn't recognize too is that since this front office and coaching staff has been here, the backcourt has changed completely from year to year, and this will be the first year since they've been here that the backcourt will be exactly the same.
Right.
Right. And so there are little nuances here. But at the same time, I think part of our issue is understanding that patience should probably be key. Hey, BT, is that you got a mic thing going on?
Nah, I'm sorry. You hear feedback or something?
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Okay, it's probably my PlayStation. Hold on, let me turn that off.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, and how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. I just didn't want to be rude and cut people off, but like I said, thank you for having the platform, Knicks fans, and appreciate everything. But I'd like to just say about Thibs, I give him credit because as I've been listening to you and as I've been, listening to different type of podcasts and stuff like that, I've noticed something about Thibs. He ain't with that bull. He straight up, he'll see something and make that adjustment right there and then just go with it. Like, for example, everybody was talking about Fournier and how he did him wrong because of the report. But if you really sit back and think about what he did, he made a decision and he stood firm on it. So for me, I'm giving him credit for that, as well as also being able to, like you said, because you stole what I was going to say about the backcourt and all the changes we've had. He's been making those adjustments, doing what he can, and still producing for us. So for me, it's like I'm satisfied, but I still want more. It's been too long, but I can't be greedy. So I got to look at it this way. Should I be mad at the coach because he did the best he could with what he got? Or should I be mad at the organization? Right now, I ain't mad at neither, because I expect this year to be actually where we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, because I really thought last season was the year. But injuries, whatever you want to call it, I just think that this year is the year that we're actually going to put it all together, and that slow cook, Jamaican style rotisserie that we're using right now process is actually a good thing, because over time, what you realize is we ain't making the moves. We ain't rushing, pulling the triggers like when we had Pat Riley. I mean, not Pat Riley, excuse me. When we had Phil Jackson, when we had Isaiah. We're not doing these quick fix, getting these superstars now, trying to win now. No. Over time, we developed. He got rid of Toppin. He got rid of Knox. He got rid of all these guys that everybody at the beginning of the season thought that they were going to be good. But look how they turned out. Some of these guys are currently looking for jobs now. So we may be quick to judge and may be quick and upset about his decision making, but he's been pretty much right. Like, I can't even be mad. We've been to the playoffs twice with two different types of different type of players. And he stood firm in his decision, moving from a 10 rotation to a 7 and sticking to it, sticking to who he can trust, when to put people in, not even talking to some other players. People don't like it because people are like, oh, he should have done this with this. No, he doesn't believe in coddling. He doesn't believe in any of that. Sometimes you need a guy like that to just, smack you in the back of the head. And you're like, why you hit me? And then smack you in the back of the head again. And then you look and say, oh, my hands ain't up. I ain't defending myself. I got to go out here and put this work in. So for me, I like Thibs. I like what he's doing. I want that ring, though. I'm giving him to this year. That's pretty much what I got to say because his process has been working this far.
I'm gonna say Thibs is this maybe and Wiz, maybe you can help me with this, but I think Tom Thibodeau is like a 1981 Buick Regal, right? So if you don't know what a 1981 Buick Regal looked like, clean on the inside, clean on the outside, you know what I'm saying? Clean on the inside, clean on the outside. You know what I'm saying? With that penny color paint job, you know what I'm saying? Probably got you some 20-inch Dayton's on it or something. You know, the inside is leather, custom leather, all of that. You know what I'm saying? When somebody tell you, you like, I don't know about a Buick. Wiz, you ever seen a 1981 Buick Regal?
Oh yes, and it's the original, brand new.
Yeah,
and I bought it, was fixed it up in the late 90s and early 2000s. So yes, I have.
Yeah, I think that's Thibs right there. I think that's he old school, he clean. You know what I'm saying? And so he stays in a certain lane. And I think sometimes our patience or impatience sometimes tries to force him left or right. But he ain't going either way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's not going to the left or to the right. He's staying in that old school lane. Right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Chuck, you ever seen a 1981 Buick Regal?
A G body? Absolutely. 81 Regal, 81 Grand Prix, 81 Cutlass,
a Riviera, a Monte Carlo.
Monte Carlo.
Don't turn. If you got to take a whole block to turn,
bro,
slow motion like a tank.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. I think that's Thibs' sweet spot. Like for those that like the old school approach, Thibs is exactly what they want.
But he also gave us an identity. So compared to what we used to be, trying to fight, go back and forth, and he actually gave us a good 4 or 5 years of just consistency of an identity of who he is. And like I said, I got to respect that because that's how I grew up on the Knicks. I grew up with my dad yelling at me, oh, we're going to win it this year. We got Ewing. We got this. Like, my dad being about consistency and everything. And that's how I was raised. So for me, it's a good thing to see nowadays that old school mentality can be used because it kind of brings us back to what we all appreciate, the good times. Now the good times need to keep on rolling and get that ring.
Right.
So my contention is this. I think there are two sides to the story. There are two narratives. I'm going to touch on the one I think is most obvious that will then bring us into Thibs directly. I think the Fournier narrative out there is that he complained about playing time, and he expected to be in the game or ahead of Grimes potentially. With I think he didn't touch on either one of those, nor was he necessarily slandering Thibs' coaching style, except for the fact that he didn't even communicate with him about the fact, I'm going to switch out. But after saying that, I'm going to put these young guys got to play. I don't think you had a problem with that for you. Right now, you're not in the rotation. But he didn't say you're coming out completely and just sit there and don't even even 5-5 practice, you won't even be in that 5-5 practice squad, just sitting on the bench waiting. So the management style, leadership style, I think is where Fournier had
An
part
issue.
of his problem, but it wasn't his biggest issue. The biggest issue is I can't spend another year not playing in my prime to the front office. Basically, he's saying not about Thibs not playing him, but about you guys really got to get me out of here without saying trade me outright. And I think that's part of his passive aggressive, trying to be, a good team, kind of being a good guy somewhat without saying it and straight up trade me. He's not Harden, okay? He's not being, he's trying to say it. Come on, guys. I'm 30, 30,
Wiz,
30.
I think let me disagree with you for a little bit, okay?
Sure.
Because I understand where you're going with it. But this is what I'm thinking Fournier is saying to them. Yo, y'all asked me to come here and play. I didn't come hunt y'all down. Y'all came looking for me. Right? And then two, when we decided on parameters, y'all traded for me in a sign and trade. Y'all let me know up front that y'all valued me, right? And then a year and a half into it, there's a pivot, and you don't value what I bring to the table anymore. And the least you can do is offer me safe passage. Get me out of here, right? You got you gave away 2 second-round picks and a trade exception for me, right? The least you can do is get me out of here because y'all came for me. Y'all gave the Boston Celtics 2 second-round picks for me. I thought it was gonna be Kemba and Fournier. And then a year and a half into it, Kemba's already been gone a year. And now I'm on the bench. So there's a complete pivot. We were the backcourt. Y'all completely pivoted. Brought in Jalen Brunson, and now it's Brunson and Grimes. The least you can do is allow me to go somewhere where I can at least play.
But
you know what I'm saying? That's what I think Fournier is saying. I don't think he's saying totally that because I agree with what you're saying. He's still professional. But I think what he's emphasizing to them is, hey man, y'all remember when y'all valued me and now y'all don't? Now I'm just sitting here.
But that's go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. What I'm saying is Fournier probably was going to him like, yo, if you're not gonna play me, trade me. I want to play. That's the reason why I came here in the first place. If I wanted to sit on the bench, I'd have took less money and came off the bench in Boston. Who knows? I might have a championship right now. You know what I'm saying? But y'all wanted me to come here and play. And now y'all don't want me to play.
Maybe at the time, I was going to say, at the beginning of it, they were like all about it and they looked into it. But then they see how you are as your work ethic and how you contribute to the team. And if you only contribute in one thing, then you really think about it. Fournier really got his exposure because of the 3-point that he could shoot. But we just added 2 other players that can shoot. We signed the Cavs dude to a 2-year. I forget his name off the top of my head. And then we also got Vicento. I can't even say his name. So we got thank you. So we got those 2 guys to basically replace Fournier. What else do you bring to the table to help the team? Like, for me, it was always, when I watched basketball, it was the dog in you, the fight, like the ability to change what you bring to the table. Just because you're good at 3-pointers and you're a big guy who could run up and down the court, look at Toppin. Toppin was flashy, and that's all he brought to the table. Maybe we need something different from Fournier, and he hasn't shown us yet. So you speaking out against the coach, to me, is you shouldn't be doing that. What you should be doing is on that court, showing him, hey, I could do this, I could do that, and make him see, hey, maybe I was wrong about it. Because in the beginning, they believed in you. I'm sorry.
I don't think he's talking against the coach literally. I think the communication thing was somewhat the coach, but it's also front office. The organization stopped communicating with him completely. He said, it's not about, it's just ignoring him completely. And that's the only point. He's not saying he's not getting playing time. He understood what happened. He saw the cards on the table and says, oh, wow, Grimes has got skills. When Josh came in, man, okay, you know what? I don't have that. I don't have what they need right now. I'm not a Thibs guy. And so I'm cool with that. I'm going to sit quietly and then wait for you guys to. And he said it out loud at the game he played. It goes, it's a one night stand. I know that he's aware of it. He's comfortable with that because he understood the dynamics of the business. And he sat quietly and he waited, and he waits till draft time comes, and he waits till free agency comes.
Nothing happens.
Nothing. He wants to play basketball. This is a cat who plays every single time he can with his French team because he loves the game. And he's like, I just want to play ball. And you guys know you're not going to use me. Then you bring Dante in, so you're even more telling me you're not going to use me. So come on, please do me a favor without me going out, let's straight up saying, trade me. So he decided to be passive aggressive with a little comment about, being ignored. And then, because we throw a little salt in the wound there by saying I'm being ignored. But ultimately, I'm not getting any playing time. Buy me out, do something, because I want to play basketball while I'm younger to play basketball.
Right.
He says 2 years is too long to be off playing in a competitive setting.
In his prime.
In their prime. And then also his contract is going to be his last contract coming up. So he's going to have another year sitting on the bench, which he can see the writing on the wall. With this team, he knows I should be on this bench. These guys are, all of them, defensively, whatever it is going on, they're better than me right now for the Knicks team that is there. Right. So I should be on that bench, but I'm not the kind of guy who wants to be player number 12, sitting there in case someone gets hurt, and have another year go by and not get some playing time to then show, hey, next summer, can I get some money from somebody? Right. Next summer, he's getting no offers off. He sits on the bench for another 8 months. Nothing. They're gonna be like, play exception or whatever they're gonna do. Not exception, but I mean maybe some kind of minimum.
Wiz,
minimum.
You know what? Because the same thing happened to Derrick Rose, right?
Right.
All of a sudden, Derrick Rose is absolutely out of the rotation, not getting no minutes under no circumstances, right? You know what happens when the Knicks terminated his team option? Memphis scooped in the same day and signed him to a 2-year deal.
Yep.
2 years.
Exactly.
My thing is with Fournier and with Rose is not that these guys may not have value around the league. You know what I'm saying? The thing is these cats just want to play.
Right.
At this level, in order for you to be on a big contract like that, listen, there's no way somebody's going to tell me that Derrick Rose doesn't have anything left in the tank or Fournier has nothing left in the tank, right? The thing is all of us are old enough to know or old enough to remember that championship teams always had like that vet that would just come off the bench and just get buckets. The bucket getter, not the break glass in case of emergency guy, but how you get those weird stretches, the situational, like you remember Sean Livingston from the Golden State Warriors.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Guys like that. You remember when Steve Smith played for the San Antonio Spurs? They brought Steve Smith and Tracy McGrady off the bench. People don't even remember that, but they would come off. The offense would be lagging or something. They bring in Steve Smith and Tracy McGrady, and they'd get on the court smelling like Vic Sab and Ben Gay, grunting. You know what I'm saying? But they would go out there and get the Spurs like 6, 7, 8 straight points, and then go back to the bench and wrap up like a mummy because that's all they had.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like Eddie, like the classic movie Eddie, when she asked John Sally to get off the bench. How them knees doing? And he's like, they fine. But hey, look, maybe that'll be Fournier. That's what I'm saying. Maybe you may not see the opportunity now, but when you're gonna get your time because you're still here. That's the whole point. You just gotta be prepared.
But the chance was reduced with Dante's pickup. So if he saw what happened this last 6 months, he saw the opportunity is even lessened, especially with Deuce still there, especially and things like that. So I'm saying that the narrative I was talking about with Fournier is a narrative with Thibs. I think most Knicks fans are knowledgeable enough that no Thibs is a good basketball coach.
Yeah, he's a good coach, bro.
Most people understand that fact. Most people understand that he probably was the right man for the job when this organization started.
At the
At the
time.
time.
Yeah.
Even right this moment, he may be the right man for the job right this moment.
Right.
But in transitioning towards where we want to go, I think people are not saying he's a bad coach. They're not saying he's a terrible coach and he doesn't know what to do. They're saying that for this future of where we need to go in this current NBA, he's not the guy that can take us at next level. He's taking us to a level that we all have. Those of us who are pleased with where we're at right now are pleased because we haven't been there. I don't compare him ever to the lowest common denominator. I'm a Yankee fan, not a Mets fan, right? So I'm not going to be satisfied.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
You're not gonna be satisfied losing 9-3, right? You're just gonna be.
I had to throw that in there, but I'm a Giants fan and a Jets fan. Okay, I'm not looking at Joe Davis. Okay, I'm looking at Bernie and Derek and stuff. I'm looking at championships, but not just even championships. I'm just looking at a constantly winning culture, but one that has aspirations of championship, not aspirations of winning. So we're not in the bottom half. And something like that is something that Thibs, I don't think, has that next level step for us, but he has a level that makes.
Tom Thibodeau was a Ford Taurus, bro. And listen, and even if you put a Mustang motor in a Ford Taurus, guess what it is?
A Ford Taurus.
It's still a Ford Taurus SHO. That's it.
Oh man, you put some spinning rims on there or something.
It's still a Ford Taurus, bro.
It's spinning.
It's a fine car, bro. It's a fine car. It was if you remember the movie RoboCop, when the movie RoboCop came out, and you first when you saw the Ford Taurus for the first time, you were like, "Oh my God, yo, this don't look like a Riviera right here." When you saw all the curves on that Ford Taurus, bro, you was like, "Yo, this is the future right here." But that was in the 80s, bro.
Yo, in Florida right now, from New York since probably the 80s and 90s, in the garage in my mom's house is a Ford Taurus.
Of course, everybody got one, bro. Everybody got one. I think I had like 2 of them, bro. I had a burgundy one. I had a burgundy one. The paint was faded. It was turning pink, like that Pepto color. You know how paint jobs back in the day wasn't really good paint jobs back in the day. But yeah, man. Yeah.
My ride from New York to Disneyland down in Florida was in a Taurus. All the way down and back. That cars are lively and solid, man. But like you said, I want to roll up in front of Spargos. I want to roll up, in a Rolls or Bentley or Benz. I want to.
And Tom Thibodeau is not that. And
not that.
And respectfully, he is not a gremlin either.
Right.
Respectfully, he's not a Suzuki sidekick either. He's not a Suzuki Samurai, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not a what's the thing? What's the rodeo? You remember the rodeo Jeep? You remember that?
Oh, yeah. Isuzu rodeo?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, he's not a Isuzu rodeo either.
Oh man.
You know what I mean? So I want to give him credit for who he is. The thing is, as Knicks fans, we have dueling concepts. And these dueling concepts create narratives, and some of them are organic narratives that appear from out of nowhere. Like nobody really said it, but everybody's thinking it. Like for instance, one of the dueling concepts is the Knicks need to win a championship right away. A team that spends this much money, a team that's ticket prices are this high, a team with this much exposure has not won an NBA championship since the Vietnam era. Since when Richard Nixon was doing this, is the last time the Knicks won a championship. Right? And it's sad, borderline comedy. Right? But then at the same time, you have another thing on the other side is building a championship team is not easy. Right? And there's multiple ways to do it. You can build it dynastically, or you could just go for it. Right? And some teams go for it. And the Knicks have done this over the years. They've gone for it, but they've never really gone for it. Right? And then you can build it dynastically, and the Knicks can't even get out of the starting blocks. right? When it comes to dynasty, because when you're trying to build a dynasty and you make selections like Frank Ntilikina and Jerry and Grant, you stumble out of the blocks. So you never get a foundational piece in order to build upon. So when you have these two rivaling things, and then common sense is going straight down the middle of both of those, right? Like, don't waver either way. Don't waver either way on either side. Don't get caught up in and you hadn't won in 50 years, and don't get caught up in the team will be ready in 6 years. And then common sense going straight down the middle is telling Knicks fans, you know what? In order for us to kill that narrative and kill this narrative over here, or not narratives, but these objectives, just win a championship, and both of those things go away.
But that's very hard when everybody else is making all these changes. Like, even if you look at Miami, Miami lost a couple of their players, but do you not expect them to be going against Boston next year? Even Boston, as much as I hate the Browns signing, they still upgraded because now they got their two guys that they can go off with Chris Porzingis and it's Kristaps. So it's like, for me, I'm glad we staying still, but I'd rather be where we're at now than where we were at 3 years ago, because Thibs came in and cleaned up all the mess and gave us something to look forward to where now we do see it, as opposed to just being over here for 1 second and then, like you said, over there for the next second, going back and forth. We actually have a balance. So ride it out.
BT, the only thing though with that, and not cutting you off, right? The only thing with that is low-hanging fruit is only sustenance until the fruit on the top part of the tree is out of reach.
Yeah.
Right? You know, all the fruit at the bottom, you can eat off the fruit off the bottom of the tree, right? But then when the fruit get out of reach, what you gonna do? You gonna climb the tree, or you gonna wait for more fruit to grow?
That's what I mean. Like, that's a good point. That's actually a good point. I like that.
I'm going to say this about.
I think it's time to climb the ladder then.
So my point about even a championship, as a Yankee fan, again, I'm bringing up the Yankees on cause they're champions.
Y'all had one since 2009, bro.
It's okay, man. I've been a Yankee fan all my life.
Chuck,
Chuck,
can you explain to them that they hadn't won a championship in like 15 years?
As a Giants fan, I'm actually compromising my standards for the Knicks. I don't need a championship. I need a contender for the championship. Right now, I'm seeing a slow build-up to try to be happy next year to get past the second round. And that's something that, even as a Yankee fan, I'm not satisfied with that. I need ECF minimum. And that's what I've been asking for the past 22 years, 23 now, right?
Okay.
ECF minimum. And so forget about all the other aspect of championship to even satisfy me. Get me to the ECF where I can now dream, because we've been there. I was there in the 90s, and I was there with Jordan ahead of me.
Okay.
Well, you gotta
get me to the point where you never know. Miami just did it. You never know what can happen. And that's why this Thibs just getting us a little bit better and not where we were 4 years ago, etc., is just not a satisfactory status for me.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta crawl before you walk, right?
Right.
Like this team is relatively young. There's been a lot of ups and downs from the front office to the coaching staff. You finally got a solid coach. You finally starting to get solid play out of guys that you've invested in. You're still looking for more from these guys, but at the same time, they're relatively young. And those guys that I'm talking about, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, either one of those guys, both of those guys, have a breakout year this year. We're going to be a tough out for anybody. But we gotta crawl first, guys. We can't I can't really get on board with Eastern Conference Finals minimum. Like, we haven't even gotten out of the first. We only got out of the first round once in what, 15 years.
Okay. Okay.
But now we got to get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, but like you said, with the low bearing fruit, you got to climb that ladder at some point, and that's the expectation. Now's the time we got to climb that ladder. I want to be in the Eastern Conference Finals because it shows progression. But the only reason why I want to be there is because I know we can make it to the finals. So for me, I see us surpassing a lot of expectations with everything going on. And also Grimes, Hart, and Brunson right now playing for Team USA. Those three guys are going to be stepping up a different way. They're going to learn a whole different way of basketball. It's just, what about everyone else? So for me, I expect when we come back from this whole competition, the Knicks to step up to where it's either going to be the Knicks, Boston, or Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals, or Miami.
Now
That's
I'm
just
okay. I'm okay. Again, I'm not saying this team should rush and push through and be in the top right away. I'm saying the organization actually has not done enough over the last 23 years. But in talking about Thibs right now, and even watching players, I think Audrey's going to step up. I believe Grimes will really start showing what he's got. I think Dante's a nice addition, positive addition. And so I see us taking that step forward. Now, I'm not going to be a homer either because I live in LA, okay? So I know what every hometown fan thinks about their team, and they look at their team and they start to go, "Oh yeah, we can go to the final." And there's a problem about half the NBA team fans right now see what we think we're seeing with the Knicks. That if this guy does right, even I was talking to We Talk Mavs yesterday, well and them, and they're like, "Oh man, if we just add Aiton," and they're talking, all the little things, that just one little piece here or there, and they're seeing finals in the Western Conference, right? So I'm thinking, I don't want to look at it from the perspective of a Knicks fan lens because I can look at each of these players and really believe that this improvement is going to get us much better. However, when I say much better, not necessarily better than what I think Boston has taken a step. Without Smart, I think it's a tough fit with Smart gone. But man, my man with that hairline stepping into his own.
Derek White.
KP. Yeah, Derek White. I was with Derek. I like Derek White. So I just think that offsets Smart's departure. And to have KP, that three-headed monster centers, basically, because KP is a power forward / center. And then when you got a defensive monster rebounder, and then he got a cat who's getting 3-pointers coming in as a third string, basically center, even though he'll probably play more center than KP. I think Boston is really scary, and then a healthy Milwaukee is also pretty challenging. So again, but the thing is, I'm thinking we can still beat each of those teams individually if there was one more thing. Again, what's the thing I'm looking at? I'm looking at an elite talent. And my elite talent in this case, for us to beat those teams, would be a Spoelstra. And I don't think Thibs is close to that Spoelstra level, which is why it comes back to talk about, is Thibs the right one to take us there? He can take us places, but not where we need to go.
Let me say this, Wes, just real quick, Chuck. I just want to jump in and interject something. The year I missed, the Kemba Walker year, really set us back, right?
Yes.
And it's not Kemba's fault totally, even though I'd be wanting to blame it on Kemba, but it's not totally Kemba's fault, right? The thing is, that year we had so many injuries to so many different players that should be considered an injury year and not just a lottery year, right? In my mind, the fact that Derrick Rose, Kemba Walker were both hurt, right? And then Emmanuel Quigley was not ready. The fact that you had to bring in that you had to play Ryan, Arcidiacono, and Damian Dotson lets you know that the fact that Alec Burks had to play point guard for 57 games lets you know that was a lost season. There was nothing this front office could do about that. Oh yeah.
Burks had to play for 20 games. That's the part where Thibs comes in.
Yeah,
Had to play for. That's the part where I can't
Me
I
either.
just can't, comprehend that. He didn't have to play, and that's a setback. I think it was
It was a setback for Quickly and Miles McBride, right?
exactly
Especially when you still only won 37 games,
right.
right? You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is I can't be a hypocrite, right? Like I can't call Tom Thibodeau a Ford Taurus, right? And then when it was time for him to be anything other than a Ford Taurus, say that he's not a Ford Taurus. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
BT, you get what I'm saying? Right. I can't call him middle of the road, and then when it comes time for him to be bad, get mad at him for bringing that team that could have been terrible to the middle of the road.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't say I agree. What I'm saying is I understand.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But that's part of now I'm gonna say that's part of the game. And for me, regardless of what you say, he produces. It's up to the players. I've been saying it from day one. The players need to hold themselves accountable and they need to be responsible. Start talking, we got it, man. Like you said, everybody thinks their team is legit, but honestly, I think based off of what we've done, we really have a shot because Boston, to me, they still lost. I think didn't they lose Brogdon? I'm not sure if I remember. I know
No.
they lost Smart, and who else did they lose? They lost someone else.
Nobody.
No.
I thought they lost 2 players. My fault. Okay, so then you still look at Miami. Miami lost Vincent, and they also they're still trying to allegedly get Dame. So we still got to see if that works. You also look at the Bucks. The Bucks, to me, they had a lot of issues with injuries. So, and then the 76ers, are they trading harder or are they not? There's a lot of question marks going on. And plus, the Nets are even a young team, so we might just slip right in at the right time and actually make a good run.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you. I think, and I'm just going to sound crazy, right? Yeah, you're right. JJ, they did lose Grant Williams. I thought he was talking BT. I thought you were talking about guards.
No. I know they lost 2 key people that I was like, who
they
was
lost.
it? I can't remember.
They lost Grant. They traded Grant Williams to Dallas. I thought you were talking about.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about in the backcourt. My bad.
No.
My bad.
But it's like I said though, those, even though you may not think them losing Smart and they get KP, it still changes the team core because if I'm playing on the court with this guy for 4 or 5 years, I know he's gonna cover this left side of the court. Now he's not there. That's gonna raise question marks. And then Brown still didn't fix his left hand dribble. So you see what I'm saying? There's a lot of question marks that they got to go out there and now refill. So Boston's in check, Nets are in check. I think Nets are good, but they're still young. I think that Bucks, they got a lot of issues with injuries. Hope if Giannis comes back healthy, then we can see them. But really, the only team that I really see we have a problem with is probably Boston, maybe Miami because of the coaching, and we could just sneak right in there.
Right, that's what I was going to tell you. I'm going to say this, and yo, I say these things during the summer. And everybody always laugh and think that I say egregious stuff. That, oh man, you just saying wild stuff, right? But last summer I said that this is a 50-win team, and then at the start of the season I was like, yo, if we can get this defense right, we might be able to make the Eastern Conference Finals. Whereas I said that on the MLK Day. I started saying that in January.
Yep.
Like this team could be a Eastern Conference Finals team. Right. And again, I was wrong because the team didn't make the Eastern Conference Finals. But when I said it at the time that I said it, at the time that I stated it, I got a lot of backlash. People laughed in my face. BT, they laughed in my face, bro.
I laughed in your face when you was like, oh, we should have got Mitchell. We should have got Mitchell. And I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, damn, he's absolutely right. Because if RJ stepped up to at least half of what Mitchell would have been, we would have been in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
So
and
you're right. You've been saying some crazy stuff, but you've been right a lot of it too.
But the thing about the crazy stuff that I'm saying is only crazy if you don't believe. If you believe, right, then it's not crazy. You think these are facts. Right? Like what I'm saying right now is I think the Knicks are a top 4 team right now in the NBA. At this moment, top 4
NBA,
right?
not Eastern Conference.
No.
Yeah, see, that's what you mean by believe.
And I'm talking about.
Okay, I got a Photoshop. Let me take a little screenshot
Right.
And
I have it recorded. I have it recorded, man. I don't take videos down.
So you think we're better than the Suns? You think we're better than Golden State? You think that we're better?
No, I didn't say that. I said I
No,
think
I'm
we're top
asking.
4.
Like, I want to know the 3 teams ahead of us. So
Yeah, but don't attribute nothing to me though. Listen what I'm saying. I'm saying I think we're a top 4 team in the NBA. In terms of the order, you put it in any order you want to.
Okay.
Right. What I'm saying is those teams that historically Knicks fans are tuck their tail. Like Knicks fans when they when some Knicks fans hear the Milwaukee Bucks, they tuck their tail between their legs. Oh my God, they have a Giannis. They have and I was saying since February, that's who I wanted us to play. I wanted us to get Milwaukee. And when I said that in February, everybody laughed until Milwaukee lost in the first round to an 8 seed in the playoffs. Right? When I told y'all that I wanted Philadelphia, not Philadelphia. When I told y'all I wanted the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, people laughed. They was like, "Oh, they got Tatum and Brown and blah blah blah." But I saw Boston. On a Saturday night, I saw the Boston Celtics knock down 28 3-pointers against us, and they barely beat us, bro. They barely beat. They had to knock down 7 3-pointers per quarter in order to beat us on a Saturday night at 7:00.
That's like 1 3-point every 2 minutes, so to speak. Like
right,
1 to 2 3-pointers every 2 minutes.
Right, and you're counting the makes. You're not even counting the misses, the attempts. Right. It took a otherworldly experience for them to beat us on that Saturday night. Right, and then we beat them in the Garden without Jalen Brunson.
Yep.
Right? With Emmanuel Quickly at point guard. The Emmanuel Quickly breakout game.
Easy too.
Right? And so what I'm saying to you is when I say these things, I base this stuff in basketball. I don't care nothing about hype. I know Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can't guard Julius Randle. Right? And I know that Giannis can't guard Randle for 48 minutes. Right? I know this. I watch the games, bro. They take Giannis and put him on Mitch and then have a big come out on Randle and then double team Randle.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm
Lopez would do that.
Yeah, and then how the Bucks beat us. Right? Drew Holiday hit 2 dagger threes over Quentin Grimes with Grimes absolutely in his shirt. Right? Grimes could not have played better defense than that. And they beat us like that. And so what I'm saying, ultimately, when Miami was red hot, Julius Randle hit the 3 at the buzzer. You remember Randle fumbled the ball? Yeah. Remember Randle fumbled the ball and he hit that 3 at the buzzer?
Right, yeah, he stole the ball and got the layup with the N1 to be up by 2, and then Randle did the same play, but he forced it out even more to the right where he was off foot. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me,
what I'm saying to you is if we just let the hype train go to its next destination and just live in what we see, what you see is a very, 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 very good NBA team that just didn't have all the pieces together at the same time. Randle had 2 sprains on the same ankle. As soon as the season was over, he had to have surgery. Right? RJ Barrett in a game clincher, RJ Barrett shot 1 for 10 from the floor. You know what I'm saying? If we get anything from either one of them guys, anything, then we play game 7 against Miami in Madison Square Garden 2 days later.
And Grimes' defense on Butler was really impressive to me. Most people don't even realize Grimes was keeping up with him. Grimes was like just on him, not making it easy.
Right.
And then the only thing I really think is, I agree with you on that, but I just think that if we had it on the offensive end, maybe an extra someone that could come off the bench, drop 4 or 5 points, we would be a lot closer than where we were.
Yeah, the team is a good team, mind you. mind you, we lost in a tightly contested series to the team that eventually lost in the NBA Finals. It's not like and my dog behind me snoring, man. I got an old ass dog. He just but anyways, the point that I'm getting at is we lost to a team that lost in the NBA Finals, bro. Right? The Knicks and the Heat knocked off giants all throughout the playoffs until they got to each other, and then they knocked us off, and then Miami just continued on knocking off the other giants. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of these things. Like I know the Knicks need one or two more players, but what I'm saying to you ultimately is if you have faith in, well, I'm just gonna say it like this. I just think Knicks fans don't have faith in Julius Randle. That's why they down. Wiz, do you agree?
All I hear.
No, I think it's a full picture. I think there are a few who don't believe in Randall, a few don't believe in RJ, and a few don't believe in Thibs.
And quickly,
right. So when you combine all of those together, then combine that overall they don't believe in the team because they don't believe in a player or two that are key components of the team.
Right.
I don't think it's just Randall. I mean, I think the percentage may be higher Randall than RJ, but I think RJ and Randall are the ones fighting each other for starters in a way. Okay. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that because Thibs, I got to put Thibs in there as a starter, right? I think the numbers are Thibs can take us to the championship is the biggest thing most Knicks fans believe. Okay. Where there are Knicks fans who think they can do it, but I think most Knicks fans don't think he can. Randall lead us to a championship. I don't think most Knicks fans think he can do it, not as a 1 or a 2. And definitely RJ, just because, I mean, they got a little hope for the playoffs this past playoff, but even then, because of his inconsistency and inefficiency, then he also is not a 1 or a 2, and it's barely a 3, which makes it a non-championship.
What do you mean? What do you mean by 1 or 2?
As far as the number 1 or 2 player on the team, right? He can't be he can't be the star. He can't be number 2 on the team. As far as overall dependency on the guys to take us there. So you mean
pecking order?
Yeah, pecking order.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, talking about. Yeah, he's barely a 3, and that means that the 1 and 2 got to be superstars.
Yeah, I don't know if I completely agree. I just honestly think that the pecking order thing is a fans thing.
Okay.
Right. The pecking order thing is a fans thing because if you say pecking order, do you mean pecking order throughout the game? Because pecking order throughout the game changes.
True.
Right. For instance, if Damian Lillard is a number 1 option, right? What does Damian Lillard do on defense?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
Right. It's these things. I think your team has to be balanced. And for those number 1 options out there, like Damian Lillard, he never won a chip. James Harden, he never won a chip. Joel Embiid, he never won a chip, bro. You know what I'm saying? The guys that win championships believe in team. You have to have a great team from 1 through 15 or so. You got to have a now. Can your best offensive player, or should your best offensive player be an elite offensive player? I think that's what Knicks fans want.
But that's right. Rarity.
Yeah, they want. Yeah, we want a scoring machine, right? As a number 1 guy. But I'm here to tell you, in the beginning, and so I won't sound like a hypocrite. In the beginning, when I was saying a championship team has to be balanced, I think a championship team has to be balanced, bro.
Like if you look at it, like if we had an Ant-Man, I guarantee people will be like, "Oh, he needs to do more." But the guy plays both sides of the court. He's gonna give you 20. He's gonna play defense, and that won't be enough. So they want like the impossible, And it's for me, I like what we have. We have balanced role players that know their role. They go out there, put in work. That's why I love Randall. I tell that to everybody. He ain't perfect, but he's our guy. And same thing with Brunson. Brunson is, oh, snap, this guy can play like that? Okay, let's see what he do this year because we already know what our boy Randall's going to do. So for me, I don't believe in that 1-2 option. I just think that if we had another player step up and be as consistent as one of them, we're good. Because then when the moments come to where Brunson's on the bench or Randall's taking a rest, we got that other guy to depend on. That's there.
Okay, hypothetically, let's throw this out there. Let's say, okay, which of these two teams win a championship? RJ and Grimes, both of them, I'm giving you two players, take one more step this next season with the current squad, or both play the same way they've been playing, but we switch out Randall with a 29-year-old peak Kawhi.
No, because
which
I'm
one?
gonna say,
Pick one. Which one wins championship?
Okay, all right. When you say peak Kawhi, you mean the Kawhi when he went to the Toronto? Which I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm talking about exactly.
No, because at that time, that peak Kawhi that everyone saw, he wanted it out and he had something to prove. So he was out there. I don't care if I can't walk ever again. I'm gonna prove everybody wrong. So for me, I like what we got in Randall and Art. Don't get me wrong. Maybe the RJ one ain't the best, but for me, nah. I don't want that Kawhi because that's a rarity and most players don't even have to where they just, I'm going to prove you wrong, go out and actually do it.
But I'm asking a hypothetical for that circumstance. If we had that, Kawhi and RJ and Grimes play the same way they play, but you switch out
then you
Randall,
take away from Brunson, you take away from a lot of the core because Kawhi, I'm sorry, he's a spin cycle. And once he's in that post, he's going to the basket. You ain't going. He's like, to me, he reminds me of a Bernard King at that peak, like where he's going to get to his spot and just go once he gets the ball. So you take away a lot of the pressure off of Brunson, but then you would have never seen who Brunson really is or what Brunson can bring to the table.
Okay, so which team does better? That team, let's say this current team, right, as we know how to play, or we switch Randall out with that peak Kawhi, or we leave Randall and next season we have Grimes and RJ step up another level to their game, which means RJ goes to 47% efficiency with 75% foul shooting and actually above average finishing. And Grimes does what Grimes' games were in the latter part of this past season. That team versus the team with Kawhi instead of Randall at its peak, and those guys play the way they played the past 4 months.
I think they are because, like I said, they're playing for team. RJ's playing for Team Canada, and Grimes is also playing for Team USA. Yeah, he's off the bench, but he's also learning him. They're all learning how to play. Even Hart's playing. So,
but the question is, which of those two will beat each other? I'm just saying.
I think the first team will beat them because, to be honest, it's
without Kawhi. You mean the team without Kawhi?
Team without Kawhi.
The team without Kawhi, because I think Kawhi was just that good to where nobody could stop him. But then again, you're going against a one in a flash pan type player that rarely you see against a built core. I'm going to stick with the consistency. Okay. That's just who I am. I'm not going to say you're wrong if you don't.
You got thought freezing about that?
Not really.
Because it's not hypothetical.
Okay. Because
no disrespect.
I understand. All right, so I'm trying to see if staying the course with this coach is a championship path a feel-good story. And right now I think it's a feel-good story.
To be honest with you, most people didn't think that in 2015 with Golden State Warriors, and I keep bringing it up because they were defensive team with Mark Jackson, and everybody was like, "Oh, Mark isn't doing the right job." They got rid of him and put Curry in, and they surprised everybody. And they even surprised, even though they lost the next year, they went back-to-back finals. They had the best record and improved. So,
I'm prepared to be disappointed in my prediction. I'm prepared to be. To eat crow. I can't wait to go. I was wrong. I can't wait to hear that and say that. I'm looking forward to that possibility of going, man, I didn't expect this. Even this past season, I was hopeful for last season's kind of performance, but Freezer's call, I was like, is it possible? Yeah.
Where's that bandwagon got full fast, bro? I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, YouTubers was calling me out. Uncle Freezy don't know what he's talking about. He just been talking. And then, as soon as it come true, everybody like, I told you.
And I hate that because it's always like that with Knicks fans. And it's like I hear other people, they're like in the beginning of the season, Knicks suck. But then we get on a 10-12 game. Oh, Knicks are back on top. We're gonna make the final. I hate that.
Before we met, bro, before you and I met officially, like before like we was on screen together, Vegas predicted the 2021 New York Knicks to win 21 games.
Ooh,
right?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Alfred Payton was the point guard.
Yeah.
The shutdown, the bubble season, whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey man, this team is gonna go 42-30. Remember, because we only played 82 games.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, we're gonna go 42-30, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened is people were clowning me. Like, yo, what you talking about, man? You always be saying sideways stuff. So the Knicks finished 41-31. And you know what those fans told me?
You were wrong.
You was wrong. You was wrong. They didn't win 42. They only won 41. But y'all was saying that the Knicks, Vegas predicted 21, and y'all was saying 19.
That's why I'm scared if we win a ring, because it's like everybody gonna come out the woodwork like, oh yeah, we knew we were gonna win. Like I had a friend of mine on another channel. After the Cleveland series and we lost to Miami, he's like, man, if the Knicks lose, I'm gonna go ahead and be a Miami fan. I can't take this no more. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, next year, bro, if I see you in the Knicks jersey, I'm slapping you. Sorry, I don't mean to be violent, but I'm just like, you really just gonna quit just because it didn't go your way?
Right. And so basically what I'm getting at, BT, is this. The thing I'm getting at is that a lot of this stuff is hard for Knicks fans to grasp because we carry a lot of baggage on things that happened in the past. So anytime you say something with any positivity on it, a lot of Knicks fans will be like, no, Uncle Freezy crazy. Edwin, and thank you for the generous contribution. Edwin says, I can't speak for every Knicks fans, but I thank him for making us stable. But he is the same boat as D'Antoni, too predictable in the playoffs. I got you. I feel you. I feel you. And what I'm getting ultimately with Knicks fans and positivity is when you say something positive to Knicks fans, they're like, man, you in that pie in the sky, man. Man, Knicks ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? We got it, man. Quentin Grimes ain't all that, man. You know, RJ Barrett can't shoot. And listen, I understand all of that. But what I'm saying is the Knicks lost a lot of close games this year, including the playoffs, where if we just execute Knicks basketball and do things the Knicks type of way, we win a lot of those games. For instance, I'm going to throw Obi Toppin under the bus since he's no longer a Knick. Right? Because I don't believe in that once a Knick, always a Knick. Right? Like I'm not a Mark Jackson fan. I'm not a Derek Harper fan. I'm not a Doc Rivers fan. I'm not an Obi Toppin fan now that he played for the Pacers. But Obi Toppin went to the free throw line with a 2-point deficit. Miami 76, the Knicks 74. Obi Toppin was so scared at the free throw line that his first free throw, it snuck in sideways to go in. He was shook. And y'all know, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know there's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. You can run, but you can't hide forever from these streets that we done took. You walk around with your head down, scared to look. You shook because ain't no such thing as. And Obi Toppin is at the free throw line. He barely makes the first one, and then he misses the second one, right? And then we come back down, right? We come back down, losing by one because Obi. And there's nothing wrong with missing a free throw, right? Nothing wrong. Everybody misses free throws, bro. Everybody. But in that moment, you want Knicks fans to gravitate. You want Knicks fans to be in your corner, Obi. Make them free throws and look confident. Because in that same game, when Grimes got fouled, Grimes looked like a G. You know what I'm saying? Grimes went and swished both of his free throws, right? But the Obi thing, Obi misses one, right? and then the Heat come back down the floor, and they penetrate the paint. Josh Hart goes in for the rebound, but no shot goes up. They kick it back out to Josh Hart's man at the top of the key, Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin knocks down the 3, and now the Heat are up by 4. And all you ask is for 2 NBA players just to do their job within a certain, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to crash right there, Josh Hart. But I know that's who he is. Josh Hart is a rebounder. So when there's the thought of a rebounder, Josh Hart gonna go get the board, right? But I'm asking Josh Hart in that moment, bro, don't leave an NBA player wide open for 3. You know what I'm saying? What's more important, that rebound that you might get, or this guy stretching the lead to 4, right? And so I know we blame Randall and RJ and guys all the time for, like, you know what I'm saying, because we look at the stat line like, oh, Randall sucked tonight. But when you look at things that happen in the game, right? When you look back at Josh Hart telling Obi to switch on to Jimmy Butler so that Josh Hart can grab Bam Adebayo, that just let me know right there, Josh Hart ain't have no faith in Obi guarding another team's bigs. Josh Hart at 6'4", whatever he is, 6'5", whatever he is, was like, nah, big dog, I would rather guard Bam Adebayo than to let you do it. And then as soon as the season over, you know, one of the first moves to be done is Obi Toppin is out of here.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I know we blame Randall for a lot, RJ for a lot. What I'm saying is we win as a team and we lose as a team. You know what I'm saying? Play team ball, man. No one guy is gonna New York. Wiz, you remember that song? We don't need another hero. Remember?
What's her name? Tina Turner.
Yeah,
from,
Tina Turner
Thunderdome, Beyond the Thunderdome.
From Mad Max.
Yeah.
The Knicks
We don't need another hero. Yep.
Yeah.
We don't need to find a way home. All we want to do is fight beyond the Thunderdome. Yeah,
right. Yeah. So and so even though I pound the table for a Paul George trade, the reason why I do it is if we're in the trade market, trade for that guy. If we're not in the trade market, listen, I don't care. If we're in the trade market, trade for Donovan Mitchell. But if we're not in the trade market, I don't care. Right? I have faith in the guys that we already have. So it sounds like I'm saying, like, talking on both sides of the street. No, it's clear. If we're not trading, I'm good with it. Right? But if we're trading, hey, go get them guys. You know what I'm saying? Wiz, you know how it is with money, right? If you ain't spending money, I'm cool with saving money. But if you're gonna spend it wisely.
Exactly.
But in this market, though, you don't spend it, you actually still losing it. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like if we're gonna trade, if we're gonna go out there and make a major move, then do a major move. Don't go out there trying to do a major move and then you coming back with Dante DiVincenzo and you like, yo, but look, we got Dante.
He's a baller. Even Steph Curry said it. Like,
and I like Dante. I like Dante. I think Dante DiVincenzo, the Dante DiVincenzo acquisition is one of the reasons why we're going to be a top 2 seed in the East this year.
I agree,
right?
Because we're going to do those little points that we missed, those close games.
Top two.
Actually,
yeah. I'm actually going to agree in certain respect to that. Looking at last year, even from the beginning of the season, the way it started, and Thibs had to make that flip because he started off with the wrong lineups.
Right.
And then the mistakes that the players made that didn't perform, as well as the ones Thibs made the rest of the season going on as well. I do think there was a 5 to 10 game, I'm going to say 8 games that we should have won that we lost. And maybe 3 to 4 games we should have lost that we won. So the net difference is about 4 to 5 games. So 52 wins is not outlandish for me next year.
Okay.
My concern is when we do have to play the same team for 7 potential games and they can adjust to us in game and between games is where one of our weakness in my coaches that exist and the adjustments that need to be made in that time frame that causes us trouble. So what I'm going to do is staying cautiously optimistic. I'm saying we get past the second round. I'm saying even possibly ECF next year if things fall right and coaching does occur. But if we ever win the ECF next year, I'm gonna hire 50 guys, 6'4", kind of chubby in tight t-shirts, to pose for Thibs, so he'll have a nice.
So he'll be distracted. Right. You gonna put some chubbies out there to keep his mind occupied.
Exactly. Well, as a thank you, that we do after the series, I said thank you, Thibs. Feast your eyes on your dream.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna give Thibs like 25/7 inmates. That's about 275. 570, 270 to keep his mind occupied. but no. All jokes aside though. Wiz, let me clarify. Let me state something for the record. Right. So top two in the East in the regular season and Eastern Conference Finals in my mind are two different things.
Yes, I understand.
Right. So what I'm saying is I think that because Tom Thibodeau can take a dynamic player and win 60 games with him, bro. We've seen him do it before.
Mm-hmm.
Right. My thing is when that team gets to the playoffs, it's a one-trick pony, and just like what you said, all the stuff that you said after that, I think is accurate. I just wanted to clarify. Like, I think the Knicks can win. I think the Knicks can win somewhere between 47 and 60 games next year with this team. If injuries hurt us next year, I think we're maybe 47 wins. If everybody is absolutely healthy and everybody absolutely takes a step, then I think we can be in that range of 53 to 60 wins.
I agree. My top two concern about that is I'm more comfortable predicting the number of victories rather than the placement, because I think that three of us in the East right now, Knicks, Boston, and Milwaukee, have a chance to dominate most of the other teams in the East, which means the number of victories determines the placement. And I think Boston could do 60 wins. I think Milwaukee could do 55 wins. I think we could do 52 wins, which makes us top three, not top two. So record-wise is what I'm predicting, not placement-wise.
BT, this is where me and Wiz disagree. Right? let me tell you. I'm gonna tell you my two top teams in the Eastern Conference next year, and then I'm gonna do 3 through 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So here is team one. I think the best team in the Eastern Conference next year is the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh, yes, that's nice.
I think that the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference next year is the New York Knicks.
Oh,
right. And now here's 3 through 5. Number three in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion, is the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh,
right. Now,
I'm sorry. One second. I got to put the date and time.
Now 4 and 5. I'm picking Boston 4, Milwaukee 5.
Wow.
No Miami.
Right? Wow. Freezing.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Miami. Miami doesn't care or need to be a top seed in the East in order to make a deep run. All they need to do is make it to the show. All they need to do is get to the playoffs. Miami does. So no disrespect to Miami. Right? All Miami wants to do is just make it to the playoffs healthy, because they feel, as an organization, they feel like they could beat anybody. As a matter of fact, if they the 8th seed, they would welcome a series against the Cleveland Cavaliers, in my opinion. If Miami is a number 7 seed, they would welcome a first round playoff series against the New York Knicks. Right? What I'm saying to you is this.
Wow.
Another season in Tom Thibodeau's newly established schemes. I think the Knicks are gonna. Last year, the reason why the Knicks didn't win 50 games is because we stumbled out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. We stumbled out of the box. Remember that when we lost to Dallas, when we got blown out by Dallas in the Garden on that Saturday afternoon, we were thinking Tom Thibodeau was going to get fired that night. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember the feeling. We was like, oh,
at least the next game, they were just going to get rid of him.
Yeah, and if the Knicks and what he did overnight is change schemes, and we wind up wiping the floor with a red hot Cleveland Cavaliers team. If I don't know if y'all remember this, but the Cleveland Cavaliers were the hottest team in the NBA when we played them that next day in the Garden, and we wiped the floor with Cleveland, right? And it's not because we just a better franchise. No, the Knicks were motivated to prove something. And Cleveland was in the right place at the wrong time.
Yep.
It happens, bro. It happens to everybody because the same thing happened with us with Charlotte. Y'all remember when we beat Boston on that Sunday night, and then that Tuesday we played Charlotte, and Charlotte coach was about to get fired, and Charlotte messed around and come and wipe the floor with us.
Yeah.
And they were trash.
They did that with the Bucks too. They even beat the Bucks with Giannis healthy.
Yeah, they beat Dallas.
Like, how you do that? How you keep Giannis to 7 points with fouls? He had like 5 fouls in the first half.
Wow.
Yeah. So Wiz, what I'm saying to you ultimately is this. I think Cleveland and the Knicks both have the most to prove going into next season, and I think you'll see that coming out of training camp. Boston has been the number 1 seed, the number 2 seed, all of this stuff, and they hadn't won an NBA championship. What does getting the number 1 seed do for Boston? It just means that they'll be in the same position they was in last time, and blah 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 blah. Right?
Wow.
What I'm saying in Milwaukee, I'm not giving Milwaukee any credit, bro. Milwaukee is old and one small Giannis injury away from being the 6th seed in the East. Right? Because think about this: if Giannis misses 7 to 8 games, that's the difference between them being the 2 seed and the 5 seed. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so if you're the Knicks, bro, you get another year of Jalen Brunson. And now all them kids, y'all been kidding me to death over, oh my God, you play the kids. All them kids that y'all was telling me play the kids, right? Now those kids are no longer rookies or second-year players. Grimes, the youngest one, is a 3rd-year NBA player. Quickly is a 4th-year NBA. RJ Barrett is a 5th-year NBA player. Mitchell Robinson is a 6th-year NBA player. So these guys are no longer babies now. They're not babies no more.
They ain't wearing pull-ups. They wearing trunks now. They got
they ain't in pull-ups no more. They ain't in pull-ups.
No more floaties. No more floaties on their arms. The floaties are taken off.
Right.
Okay.
Train the wheels off. They got to ride straight down the block and turn around and come back.
Yeah.
You got me there with Cleveland. That's the team that I've been trying to, I guess subliminally, I've been trying to forget. I've been trying to neglect them because their move this offseason and their mental state, which is part that they didn't even take into account coming in next year, are serious reasons why I should not dismiss them as a 4 or 5 seed, because they're coming in with fire.
They coming in hot, bro. They got the same, BT. They got the same motivation as us, bro.
They maybe more.
Yeah, Mitchell ain't the type to just sit back and just accept what happened last season. He gonna come back with like torches, hot wheeling, ready to go. Like, yo, I dropped 71. Nah, I need to drop 82 this year.
Right. And BT, let me even throw this at you, BT. If I said last year that this team acquired a star that wound up being better than what everybody thought, and they added him to a guy that previously was an all-star, and the young players that they had on the roster didn't take the next step, and their coach had a certain system, right, that he ran, and sometimes it looked outdated and sometimes it didn't. Who do you think I would be talking about right then?
The Knicks?
You think I'd be talking about Cleveland, right? Because they added Donovan Mitchell to Darius Garland, that was previously an all-star,
Oh,
They
I forgot he
young
was
yeah, they young players. Evan Mobley,
Levert.
Isaac Okoro, and all those guys didn't take the step yet. Right? The coach. Listen, the year before, think about this. Lauri Markkanen played for Cleveland, and he was all right. As soon as he get away from Cleveland, he becomes an all-star.
Yeah.
Remember, Lauri Markkanen went in the Donovan Mitchell trade. They traded one base. In theory, they traded one all-star for another. So now, just with this bit of information, if you're talking about a team, a franchise with something to prove, because here's Cleveland's thing. Cleveland hasn't won a championship without LeBron. No matter how much talent they bring into Cleveland, right? They can't win a championship without LeBron.
Yeah.
You think they got something to prove? You know what I'm saying? And if you're the Knicks, right? If you're the Knicks, you're Julius Randle. You see people tearing your poster down. You see people want you gone. You made the All-Star team. You was All NBA. All these different things, right? And you lose to Miami because you were on a bum ankle and you lose in an elimination game by 4 on the road, right? You only lose by 4 on the road, and it's because the only reason why you lost by 4 is because late in the game you had to foul to stop the clock. You know what I'm saying? You was only actually down by 2, right? If Grimes if Brunson makes that pass to Josh Hart and he knocks down that 3, we're playing Game 7 in the Garden, right? If you're that close, you think the Knicks don't have something to prove? You think Tom Thibodeau didn't see that play over and over and over again?
Yes. And I see Randall running around punching things like Amari Stoudemire.
Right.
He's being mad, but he's gonna take it out on the court rather than hurt himself.
Right. And here's the other thing too about the Eastern Conference. Every year a team that's at the top falls back to the bottom. And every year a team that's at the bottom rises back to the top. You know how I know? I watched the Knicks do it 2 years in a row. I watched them be the 4 seed, and then I watched them miss the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to look far for the example. Every year a team does it. Every year. You remember Chicago? Chicago was, man, listen.
It was supposed to be where we were at.
Right.
If they had Levine and they had what's his name? Oh damn! What the hell's that mid-range dude? I can't.
DeRozan.
DeRozan, thank you. Yeah, they were supposed to be where we were at.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're a Knicks fan, yo, relax on all the national narratives, bro. Have faith in not only your team but in your fan base. Bro, we know, Wiz, we know what we talking about, bro. We be here. We watch every Knicks game, right?
Yeah.
We know what we talking about. We don't. ESPN don't have to tell me nothing.
That's another thing. They feed off of that, like, oh, ESPN's talking. Let's see what. Nah, just let it rock, man. Because at the end of the day, it's like all that stuff is just for publicity and ratings. They don't really believe what they believe. Because if you really believe that what they believe, then you would have never even thought we would have won against Cleveland in 5. I called it out on a lot of radio stations. Yo, we're gonna beat Cleveland in 5. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're crazy. Cleveland's gonna destroy the Knicks." And what happened? Then the next game, I was like, maybe 6 or 7. But if we don't win this, we're gonna lose that.
Right.
Yo, man, I'm worried. I'm now making me. Otherwise, it's calling me scared.
Wiz, you need a dog, bro. I promise you, I got a dog right here, just out of arm's reach. He over here snoring, bro.
Give me the young one or the old one?
No, he old. He old as a mother. He old as dirt now.
You gotta carry him down the stairs so he can go outside.
Yeah, he gassing like 14 years old, bro.
I mean, yeah, that Cleveland squad. I mean, and that and Max Strus now.
Yeah.
I forgot about that too. I'm still thinking about Bates is just gonna, because he pissed. Like, a lot of people telling me that he's gonna come out and start really doing well off the bench with Garland and Mitchell. So we shall see. I forgot about that.
With more experience, a little bit, another year together.
Yeah,
they still got
Mobley, they still got Levert. They still got their guys that they had last season, pretty much. So,
and they got that perfect blend of desperation and motivation at the same time.
And control chaos. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Wiz, Wiz, you been in the military?
I've seen it. I've been to this place called Paris Island, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so if you were in the military in the 80s, right, you heard all these things going off in all these different places. And your people like, yo, we could be headed there any day now. And so now when you doing PT, you doing push-ups for real, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You like, yo, all I gotta do is 42. Remember how when things is good, you like, all I need is 42. You do 43, 44, you get up, right? When you yeah, now you like watching what you eat because across post they just sent a unit. They got your same MOS. They just sent your unit somewhere, and now you're like, oh snap, they're gonna get us next.
Exactly.
That's what I think Cleveland is like in that sense of
warrior mentality,
desperation and motivation at the same time, where they feel like this has got to be the year that they do. If you Boston, man, you've been a top 4 seed like 6 years straight. It don't matter.
And plus, you just added Kristaps and Brown's shine, so you comfortable right now. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna make the playoffs.
You know, you got more talent than everybody, and they didn't make it 6 years straight. I'm just saying in general, when you that good for that long, you know what I'm saying. But if you're the Knicks, you are absolutely all motivated because if you think about this, if the Knicks miss the playoffs next year, everybody fired.
Everybody, they got rid of Randall. They just gonna keep
Randall out of here, RJ out of here. Yep.
So before you blow it all up, it's better chance to win it.
Yeah, the Knicks know that they can't give games away, bro. That's why Dante DiVincenzo is in here. You know what I'm saying? That's why Josh Hart is in here. They traded a first-round pick for Josh Hart. That's why Josh Hart here to ensure that this team doesn't fall backwards.
Or get comfortable in certain situations. Know when to go, know when to hold them and when to fold them. And we ain't folding. We just gonna go.
What you know about Kenny Rogers, bro?
Hey man, that's what I've been saying.
What you know about the gambler, bro?
Hey, I had no choice because I was, understand. I would be calling my dad when we did the Josh Hart trade. I called my dad that second, was like, watch us make the playoffs. He's like, you really think Hart is gonna be that good? I was like, he is a dog on defense. He's going to look at what he does. My dad said, okay. 2 weeks later, everybody's still talking negative about Hart. Playoff, like right before the playoffs start, oh, Josh Hart. My dad sat back and said, yo, my son's been talking about him since we got the trade. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So
and in
that's
fairness,
why I say this year we good.
In fairness to Josh Hart, bro, I always liked Josh Hart as a player. When he got here with the Knicks, it wasn't fair for me to judge him on a limited amount of time on the stuff that he did because he was trying to find his way. You know what I'm saying? What I should do is judge him on what he does going forward. But I had always liked Josh Hart. It's just when he got here, it frustrated me that he did some stuff that veterans ain't supposed to do.
I agree. And that's why I was telling him, I was like, wait till he figures it out because him and Brunson, the way that they just, I don't know. Maybe like even Dre said it. Dre was like, a lot of people do that. But the way him, Brunson, I always see him talking to someone on the side when they're shooting free throws or when they're on commercial break. He's pulling players to the side, regardless of who they are, age-wise. Even he got it in with Toppin. I seen him pull Toppin off to the side, Toppin mouthing off. He's like, okay, but you still need to do your assignment. Like he ain't back down. Like that's what I liked about him. So for me, I think Hart being here with Vincenzo, those close games ain't gonna happen. It's just we need Randall and Brunson to step up, and it's gonna happen. Eastern Conference Final Knicks, man. I'm telling you, and I can't wait to hear everybody. Oh no, you thought you was great? No, we barely lost last season. Health given, oh man, different mentality, different Warriors, and like I said, I think the East is wide open. Nets is a question mark. Cavs, I didn't see that, but the Cavs I agree with after what you said. But Bucks. They old. They looking like how we used to look when we had before we got Randall type stuff. Like, they had all the success. Yeah, they won a ring, but what changes have they made? If they put so much on Giannis that they got both the Lopez brothers, what are they gonna do? Right. I really think that everybody in the East is limited. Now the West, oh, it's gonna be Wild Wild West shooting out there. But for us right now, we good.
Right. And for us though, for us, all we got to do is sweep around our own front door.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. You ain't got to clean up the neighborhood. Make sure your spot clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then and if all your and if all your neighbors take the same approach, sweep around your own front door, the neighborhood will be clean.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. If everybody's taking the same approach, like you ain't got to clean up the whole block. You know what I'm saying? You let reasonable minds and adults responsible clean up, you know what I'm saying, their own little spot. And then before you know it, you'll see how pristine your joint is. Hey fellas, I gotta get out of here.
All right, man.
I gotta get this afternoon exercise and whiz. We running, baby.
Go, New York, go, New York, go.
Yeah. We
right,
running.
Huh?
All right, thank y'all for rocking with us, man. We'll holler at y'all later. Knicks at Night podcast soon come 11 o'clock. Peace, y'all.
Peace.